Welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking about the Halo Infinite trailer, the Banished trailer that just dropped the other day. But I got a few of y'all's comments that I want to go over and discuss sort of in a podcast form. And y'all just made some really great points and corrected me on a few things. And I just feel like it's really worthy to talk about again. But if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, these kind of Halo Club classic podcast kind of things, then be sure to smash that like button blue. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe and join me on the Halo journey up to Halo Infinite and beyond. So our first comment is by Hype Rex. He says, it's important to note that the Discover Hope trailer, the signal detected tag designation friendly, is what alerted Brohammer, he's talking about the pilot, to Master Chief floating in space. In other words, it's possible that this intercepted signal is captured by Brohammer's Pelican. So that is an excellent thing that I totally forgot about. I think that is so cool that these trailers are kind of connecting to each other. I would say that maybe this happened before the Halo ring was destroyed, or maybe it's the Banished that are coming to the ring, and that is what basically EMPs or causes this disruption on Brohammer's Pelican. That could be the Banished that Master Chief is leaving the Pelican to fight. We have another comment by Mofo Trex. He says, it's not Atriox, the voice says we are his will. So this is something I talked a lot about in the original breakdown video, but yeah, that's an excellent point. Unless Atriox is serving someone, which I don't think he is, considering his whole story arc is about getting away from the prophets and stop serving other people that lie and use and abuse and whatever, then this most likely is one of the captains. A lot of people are saying it's the elite shipmaster, and I think that's probably our best guess. It sounded like a brute on the intercom, but sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. But it's a shame that I didn't even suggest that. But yeah, a lot of you guys are saying that's actually the elite shipmaster and not a brute at all. But regardless, it signifies that the elites and the brutes, the Banished army, are coming into Halo Infinite, and that's something to get excited for. Lizard says, just a quick concept here. What if the Halo isn't Zeta Halo, but the replacement for Alpha Halo that ANDER'S was on? He's talking about Installation 09. If the Banished in the cutscenes is on Reach, it would make sense that it's not the Ring, not Zeta Halo, as the Alpha Halo replacement is closer to Reach. So I'm not quite sure about the distance thing, but yeah, in a way, we really don't know if that is Zeta Halo at all. I've been calling it Zeta Halo forever. I think everyone has, essentially because in the original E3 2018 announcement trailer, there was a little radio with those, deserted camps that was beeping in Morse code Zeta Halo. Also, I think Save Our Souls, but essentially that at least Master Chief would be visiting two rings then if we visit Installation 09. But that's also very possible, considering that the Banished probably want a Halo ring for whatever reason, and maybe they're talking about invading Installation 09, right? Maybe some UNSC still left on that ring. I guess maybe that could be a bit possible. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to brush up on my Halo Wars 2 ending, but something could still change in these years after Halo 5 or, time after Halo Wars 2 that could lead us to ANDER'S having UNSC on that ring, or the Banished knowing about Zeta Halo and Installation 09 and invading both. Certainly a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of pieces to play with as far as, the 343 writing room goes. There's a lot of things that can happen here. But yeah, that is something to keep in mind. And one thing I wish I kind of talked about a little bit more in my other video is that Red Team is probably going to make a return, right? And also everyone on the Spirit of Fire, including ANDER'S and Captain Cutter, but also, again, Installation 09. All these things are probably going to make a merging into Halo Infinite, because essentially what I was saying back then was that Halo Wars 2 wasn't really meant to be a super successful sequel to Halo Wars 1, but it was just a convenient place to go to set up events for Halo Infinite. So we're talking about things like the Flood and maybe even the Proto Gravemind that was also teased in the Awakening the Nightmare DLC, but also, the Spirit of Fire conflict. and Captain Cutters and Anders. And it's just going to be such an amazing moment when we see Red Team in Halo Infinite, if they make a return or have some kind of relevance, because they're kind of in the mainline story now. Because if the Banished are in, then they should be in as well. And to see how all these things are going to unfold, you can kind of see, if that theory is true, rewatch Halo Wars 2 cutscenes, because probably everything in there, at least a lot of it, is actually a setup to Halo Infinite story. And to leave this topic off with quite an alluring connection is that at the end of Halo Wars 2, Anders uses the Forerunner Halo Ring grid system, basically the thing that, the tectonic plate essentially for the ring, and snaps it off and throws it into space, which essentially kills all the Banished. This looks like exactly what is happening on the Halo Ring on Halo Infinite's official box cover art that we saw about a year ago. Here is an edit better clearly showing everything that is happening. You can see these large tectonic plates just flying up off the ring, so something is happening here in connection with Anders, I think. Eddie says, "This sounds like Shipmaster in my opinion. Atriox's voice sounds deeper than that from the recording." So yeah, after looking back at it over and over, I actually had to rewrite the script that I was working on to make that analysis, because I kept referring to the speaker as Atriox, but then I started saying it was just a brute, but really I might even been wrong there, and it being the elite Shipmaster. So I think that Atriox's voice sounds kind of really, just really thick, really bloated. I don't know how to describe it.
One Spartan, yes. And the AI. We still don't know how she accessed how many of your men survived. Enough to honor our contract. Our approaches. Forces occupy the ring.
Yeah, that is not Atriox speaking, I have to say. You never know if maybe a voice actor changed or if they're going in a different direction with Atriox, but that's just some food for thought. Aaron says, "Did someone else notice the cracking screen at 307? Maybe it was the same in this trailer and some Banished soldier might be getting a distress call on it." So yeah, I wonder, why was there a crack in the screen? Is the crack have any relevance at all? Does it HaloFollower? I don't know, but it's worth mentioning, and I'm glad that I'm not the only one that's been curious by the crack, especially like at the end of Halo Wars 2. The last shot of Atriox, we see him smashing the HUD screen out of anger because he lost. I wonder if this is kind of tying into like the theme of the Banished being kind of broken and kind of crazy and yada yada. Fat Lexus says, "Just imagine Arbiter and his army with humanity against the Banished." Now this sounds really freaking cool. I would love to see the Banished and the Swords of Sanghelios go toe to toe, either in space, but more interestingly, like on ground. And to have this huge conflict, that is just so cool. And I have to keep asking myself, like, what about Cortana? Where is she and what is she doing? And I thought she was against all this war stuff. So how are they able to have these huge fights when most of the galaxy has been shut down, right? And Cortana certainly got a good grip and using the Forerunner capabilities that she now has being in the domain. But anyway, moving on. Petro says, "And this is the only first trailer. Imagine what we're going to get in July." So I've seen a lot of people saying this, technically our first trailers were in 2018 and 2019, but yeah, this is just a warm-up. It's just a warm-up to what is going to be revealed in July, and that is most certainly a lot of story stuff. I mean, trailers, campaign stuff that will actually reveal the plot, because we have a bunch of different ideas of what's going on, but we don't really know when, where, how, what, and all that stuff. All we know is that there's a broken ring and Master Chief seems stranded with this random pilot, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and the Banished are now invading a Halo ring. We don't even know which one. So I'm really excited to see how this rolls out in a trailer form, because they're not going to reveal stuff like precious spoilers and details and stuff, but they're going to give us an idea as to what the hell the goal is. Like in Halo 4, it was stopping the Didact. It was stopping an end to this, evil awakening. That was pretty much the plot, right? And in Halo 5, it was to stop the Guardians. It was to stop Master Chief, who has gone rogue, to do the hunt, as Agent Locke, as Fireteam Osiris. That was the idea of Halo 5 through the trailers. And for Halo Infinite, that is going to be revealed in July, and I'm really excited to understand what this freaking game is even going to be about after 5 years of waiting, But anyway, John117 says, "Oh, hi. die. He says, I almost screamed. Granted, I may have woken up my family. Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I was like, oh my goodness, this is wonderful voice acting. And also, it was really menacing. Listening to that video for the first few times, it was just like this really threatening voice talking about humanity burning and taking over this ring and just asserting control. We are the banished. And I got kind of a sense of like the Covenant threat, this overwhelming power. And from what we saw in those Halo Wars 2 images, the banished fleet is inside the Epsilon Arandis system, and that's also right near Reach. And we also see a UNSC fleet. I can't talk about this enough because it is just so cool. It's almost a spoiler as to what is happening in Halo Infinite. A massive freaking battle is going to happen in the Epsilon system. How freaking cool is that? Where Reach is, and we're likely going to be on Reach. I don't know why the UNSC is there. I don't know why the Banished is there, but according to the book Shadows of Reach, it most certainly seems like, in addition to the Xbox One announcement trailer where we see Master Chief running upon some big battlefield where there is no Halo ring in sight, it appears that Halo Infinite, at least for a part of the game, is going to have some massive freaking battle on Reach, but also in orbit and around the system itself. And also, the images do imply from those Halo Wars 2 concept images that the Banished have grown quite a massive army. We're talking huge. It doesn't look like they have any big ships, but they have like a swarm of thousands and thousands of smaller crafts. And that makes them a pretty big threat, I think. But moving on, Robbie says, we are his will, Zeta Halo. 2 words for you, the Primordial. So this is quite a long shot, but I just thought it was interesting. The Primordial is such an interesting character in Halo lore, but he's pretty much like one of the Flood before they became the Flood. And I forgot, the name eludes me right now, but the Foreigners killed them all off. And yeah, basically the Primordial is such a cool character. And I think he's technically actually the first Gravemind as well. But anyway, that would be crazy if the Banished and the Flood were working together. That's such a dark theory, such a dark combo. And it's something that we haven't really seen in Halo lore before. And I think it's unlikely, but it certainly would be pretty intimidating. My hopes for Halo Infinite is that the Banished are at least as threatening as the Covenant. In Halo 4, the threat was the Didact, which, in retrospect, he really wasn't a threat at all. I mean, he did annihilate one city pretty instantly and turn them into, orange robot soldiers, but essentially, he wasn't really that big of a threat, in my opinion. He wasn't firing the Halo rings like the Covenant was trying to. The Covenant would essentially wipe out all life. That's everyone's problem in the entire galaxy. My question is, how is Cortana, how is the Banished everyone's problem? Life or death, How are the stakes rising in Halo Infinite story? Things like that, I'm just so excited to learn. So Oliver says, probably the screen you will see when opening a terminal. That crack thing has me thinking that it's in a Pelican, though. So yeah, a lot of people think it's a Brohammer and his Pelican. But yeah, it's interesting that in our first comment that, the tag destination foe or friendly, it's the same format. And I wonder if that's going to be a theme with marketing, like the Hunt the Truth marketing, but more of like these kind of things. And I'm just really curious to see how everything folds out, right? And yeah. Anyways, guys, if you have any comments or theories that you would like to share with me that maybe I can make a future video on, please let me know down in the comments below. Drop a comment down there, and also drop this video a like. Smash that like button blue. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm and boosts this video up the search results and gets it out to other Halo fans. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one soon. Peace.